when a man was proposing marriage. His wife was crushed into a bloody pulp by a superhero. The perpetrator not only failed to apologize, but left the scene as if nothing had happened. A train, who fled after the incident, not only refused to issue a public apology, but shifted the blame instead. He complained that the man's wife was standing in the middle of a road, and had delayed his pursuit of criminals. To protect his own reputation, he even had his lawyer pressure the man into signing a non-disclosure agreement, with compensation of merely $40,000. Nick could only vent his rage on the lawyer. When he arrived at the supermarket, he discovered the place was filled with A-Train's advertisements. At that moment, Nick's body, which he had been forcing to hold up, finally collapsed. He thought he would never be able to avenge his wife, until an agent appeared, and gave Nick hope once again. Subsequently, under Butcher's guidance, the two men came to a special tavern. This was a place where superheroes indulged themselves, and A-Train was no exception. He chatted with friends about today's accident, mentioning that when he crushed Nick's wife, he accidentally swallowed a tooth. The sensation felt like eating a bug. Nick never imagined in his wildest dreams that his wife's death would become a joke. However, when Butcher produced the police log from that day, there was no information about any criminals being pursued that day. Nick instantly understood. When A-Train killed his wife, he wasn't chasing any criminals at all. Learning the truth, Nick could no longer contain himself. He would make those bastards pay with blood. Subsequently, Nick used signing the non-disclosure agreement as a pretext, and successfully infiltrated Vought Corporation. While signing the documents, he installed listening devices, so he could stay informed about the superheroes' movements. The seemingly flawless plan was observed by the Invisible Man all along. That evening, Nick had no idea that danger was approaching, until the listening device appeared before him. Only then did he realize something was wrong. Before Nick could react, he was brutally beaten by the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man threatened Nick to reveal his accomplices, but even so, Nick still refused to give up Butcher. Seeing his stubborn silence, the Invisible Man lifted the television to smash it down on Nick. At the critical moment, Butcher crashed through in his vehicle, directly sending the Invisible Man flying. Then he pulled out an iron rod and violently struck the wall. But unexpectedly, the Invisible Man was no longer there. Unable to see his opponent, Butcher quickly found himself at a disadvantage. He deliberately spat blood at the Invisible Man to accurately locate his position, but ordinary attacks had no effect on him whatsoever. However, the Invisible Man's body was extremely vulnerable to electricity, so Nick seized upon this weakness, secretly grabbed a high-voltage wire. Then, working together, the Invisible Man was instantly electrocuted and collapsed directly to the ground.